Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling something I think we all crave, happy relationships. And we're going deep on a podcast episode all about what makes couples truly happy, specifically the idea of a God-centered marriage.
That's right. We're really going to unpack what this podcast has to say about happy and lasting marriages and maybe see what resonates, even if, someone isn't coming from a religious background.
Exactly. So just a quick overview for our listeners. We'll be digging into this podcast, the secret of truly happy couples, building a God-centered marriage and pulling out some of the key points. And then, of course, sharing our thoughts and reactions.
Right. And just to set the stage, the core idea here is that a couple's relationship with God is like the foundation, the bedrock of their happiness together.
I love that it's like the anchor that keeps them grounded. And some of the metaphors they use really stuck with me, like the idea of a three-stranded rope and building a house on a rock. What's the thinking behind those?
Well, they dive right in with what they call the divine design of marriage, going all the way back to the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 18. God saw that it was not good for man to be alone, and he created woman as a partner, forming the first marriage on earth.
So companionship is like baked into the very idea of marriage right from the start.
Yeah, right from the get-go. And it's not just about having someone there, but about divine guidance.
Interesting. Almost like having a shared compass, walking a path together with faith as your guide.
Exactly. So then they bring in the three-stranded rope metaphor. It's from Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 12. A three-stranded rope is not easily broken.
And they're saying that Christ is like the third strand, binding the couple together, providing strength.
Yeah. And, it got me thinking this third strand idea works even outside of a religious context.
Totally. You mean like what gives a relationship that extra strength
Yeah.
to like get through tough times?
Exactly. Like for some couples, it might be shared values or a deep sense of commitment or, even shared goals they're working towards together.
Love that. Having that something extra that binds you on a deeper level.
Yeah.
I think we've all seen couples where you can just tell there's something more there, something special.
Absolutely. Makes you think about what builds resilience in a relationship, the stuff that helps you weather the inevitable storms, right?
That's for sure. And speaking of building, the podcast goes on to talk about having a solid foundation. Obedience to God's word as a firm foundation is how they put it. They even bring in that parable of the wise man who built his house on rock from Matthew chapter 7, verses 24 through 27.
Right. Now, I know the word obedience might sound a bit strict or maybe old-fashioned to some folks, but think about it in a broader sense.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
For a lot of couples, religious or not, it's about having those shared principles, like how do you handle money? What about raising kids? How do you make those big decisions as a couple?
Right. Like having a shared blueprint, that commitment to working together.
Exactly. That's the foundation. And I think for anyone listening, whether you're in a relationship or hoping to be someday, it's worth asking, what's your rock? What are those core values, those principles that would make your relationship unshakable?
Love that question. So we've got the three-stranded rope and the firm foundation, but the podcast really puts Christ in that third strand spot.
Yeah.
What about those who aren't religious? Can their relationship still be strong without that?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. It's about those things that bind you together, that go beyond just, the initial attraction.
Okay.
Could be shared passions, could be a real commitment to personal growth, even, a shared sense of humor. Those deeper connections are what create a real partnership.
That makes so much sense. It's like finding that we're in this together feeling, that shared purpose that helps a relationship thrive.
Exactly. And, at the end of the day, this whole idea of a God-centered marriage, as this podcast lays it out, it gives a way to think about how shared beliefs, shared values can create a strong and happy relationship.
Good.
But even if those specific beliefs aren't your thing, those same principles, commitment, support, shared goals, they can work for anyone, Doesn't matter what you believe.
So many great takeaways from this deep dive. Shared values, strong foundations, and that idea that even if Christ isn't literally the third strand in your relationship, there's got to be something there that brings you together.
Exactly. It's like even if you don't agree with every detail, it gets you thinking, gets you talking about these things.
Absolutely. And isn't that what we're all about here? So thanks to everyone for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you found it insightful and maybe it even got you thinking about your own third strand, whether you're in a relationship now or hoping to be someday.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And that's the beauty of it, right? It sparks curiosity. It makes you think. And who knows, maybe it even leads to some amazing conversations with your partner or your friends or, heck, even with yourself.
Exactly. Until next time.
See you then.